We're going to start out playing electric on this one. Guitar is all technique. Basically, it's all kinds of technique. The more techniques you learn, the easier. So let's start out with some very simple techniques. Number one, you got harmonics. The harmonics, the natural harmonics, are found right above the 12th fret. So those are harmonics. You just very lightly touch above the fret and just strum. The 7th fret are more harmonics. The 5th fret is more harmonics. And if you do this right, just behind the 4th fret and just above, or just behind the 5th fret that is, and just above the 4th fret are 2 harmonics. So basically, here's something weird. The on a 12 string acoustic, let me do that. Alright, let's do that one again. This is a 12 string. 12 strings are very difficult to play. They're basically used for rhythm. They have a really full sound. They're extremely difficult to tune, but here we go. Get a 12 string, you need to learn where some of the positions for the open strings are. That way you don't wear your hand and arm out trying to press the strings down. Here's an example of an open string chord. Another one. Sound is right-handed guitar turned upside down. Bought this back in like '84. Had very few electric or any kind of guitars that were left-handed back then, so these are easy. But once again, remember, acoustics with no cutaway only go down to about 14th fret, so it's real difficult to get to these bottom strings down here on just a regular acoustic. Alright, going back to the electric, I'm going to show you the quickest and the absolute biggest shortcut I could ever show you that I never found out when I was learning, but I found it out and I'm going to share it with you. It's called, you do not have to play the whole stinking chord. All you got to do is play pieces of the chord to make it sound like a song you've heard. That part I never got in any books, that's why I'm giving it to you now. Here we go. Remember D we formed back here? If we move it up 5 frets, it becomes G. Now, that doesn't mean much, but listen, we do not have to play every single string and every single note in that chord. We can play pieces, 2 strings at a time. If you just sit there and strum, nobody's going to know what you're playing. But if you take that chord and you play 2 strings at a time, and you know the notes that go with that, and you'll just have to learn that from practice. See, this is the same thing, but if we start with just these 2 fingers on the 3rd and the 2nd string, watch what we can do. How easy, just 2 strings at a time. You can play all kind of songs in that same position. can play religious songs if you want to do that. Let me turn this off. We don't need to be doing the distortion on those. Alright, here's a pretty good combination. An American Fender Stratocaster and a Marshall tube amp. But we're not going to be rocking with it. Number one, I don't want to go to jail and make the neighbors mad, so I want to keep the volume really loud. We're going to do the religious songs. Here's one you might have heard of. All these are played in the same position. Alright, remember these songs are very sacred to people. You don't need to use any of that stupid distortion and all the whammy bar and all that stuff on songs. These are songs of inspiration. Always respect that. If you play the religious songs, always respect what they are. Alright. Alright, so getting back to summing up this part, this is the last of the intermediate part. Learn all your techniques, all your hammer-on pull-offs. Oh, I forgot one. How about finger tapping? Just practice it. It's just one of those things. Just practice. Alright, here's a couple other things. There's downstrokes, as my friend Buck likes to call that's the jiggy jiggy. Alright, we're going to call this the intermediate part, the end of it. Basically what we're going to do is come back in and show you some of these techniques.